Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media universe world, Earth creature place. So glad to be hosting another episode of DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. It's Thursday, September 12th, 2024. Got another good show for you today, as always. Well, Pedro, maybe our shows aren't always so awesome, but in our minds, they're awesome. But in their viewers, you got to let us know if they're awesome too, so we can always better ourselves. But anyway, this is the point in time where I introduce my co-host, Pedro Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Pedro, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? Hope you're doing well.
Doing
Things are
well.
good, man. Things are good. I am learning, living, loving life. Um, like you said, trying to make the show better, and more importantly, just trying to have fun while we're doing it. Because I mean, truth is, if we're not having fun, then why are you doing it?
Welcome, Ariel Chimino.
What's
I know you got me to say it correctly one time, but I've already forgot. Sorry. Anyway, let's go from the Aweebo crowd. Thanks for joining us. Of course, we have Jesus, the Lord and Savior, with us as always. Moving the iron in
Mhm.
San Francisco, selling them cars. Troublesome Paradise says it's another beautiful day. Today's Thursday is
Come on.
usually our lowest viewers on Thursdays for
Yeah.
some reason that I can't figure out. But anyway, maybe everyone's just so tired of all the good news we bring them all week. Uh, but Thursdays are listening, so we're gonna try a little bit shorter show, more to the point today. We're gonna hit a couple of we'll call them key topics, key news stories, and a key charts uh, for all of us to talk about. Anyway, we're gonna talk about the B and the T, and maybe even the C right now. What's going on with that, Pedro?
Awesome. Yeah, let's go and check it out. So BTC, we've talked about this trade now kind of all week. Capturing the BTC trade, bouncing off that 8-period moving average here and continuing up into our area here of that 20-period moving average. And additionally to that, the weekly 8, which is where we were talking about how it was hitting it, right? And so you can see yesterday, I was actually going to do a video last night and post it in the group, and my computer was having issues again, and so I wasn't able to do it. But I want to show you now. We're going to move this down to that 20. I said to our watchers, put a 20-period moving average on the daily, right? A simple moving average, and
Yep.
then from there we want to then go short at it, right? Once price hits it, so you can see here. Right, and the trade behind it was this: is that we were going to put our stop originally right here at the weekly, and when price started to go down, we were going to then, this is key, move our stop down. Okay, and so you can see this is what happened. We hit it last night around 10 o'clock, and then we
So
came
just
up.
wait, hold on. To summarize for the viewers, what you're talking about is the other day you said this is a trade that you should be interested in, and it said when it hits
Yes.
this price up here, uh, put in an order to go short, which you should be doing with our sponsor BidFi,
Mhm.
uh, and then when it comes back down to a certain area, you'll clear out the trade. And so
Yep.
last night, what happened?
So last night we hit the 20-period moving average. And man, I'm gonna have to get a new. So we hit the 20-period moving average here, and this is where we hit it, and then this is where we would put our stop. Like I said, right above this area here, where as it sold off, okay. And then originally we were going to put our stop up in this area, and we wanted to catch it all the way down to at least our first target, which was going to be our demand zone right here, and then potentially come back down to this lower area here, right? And so we were looking for from here to here, this was going to be a 3-to-1 ratio. But also, if we started to see price sell off, we would then move our stop above the high right here, right? And this is where we are looking to get in at. So our stop would have been roughly probably around here, around the was, I don't know, probably about the 59 100, 59 150-ish area, more like as a whole number is where we would have had our stop in. And then we would have then, as price continued down, we would have been safe when price pulls back. And you can see here, that's exactly what we saw. So we can see that our trade would have made money. We would have got in right here. Our first target would have been right here or right here. Depends on what we were watching, right? Probably right here. I would have said, hey guys, we're not seeing a lot of volume come in. Let's go ahead and pull back. And then from here, because we have the 50 period moving average sitting at this level here. So on this movement, that would have been a 3-to-1 easily, probably 4-to-1 at these levels here. So it was a good trade. I think it was a good trade. We still would have had our first target taken off and then price to come back. And like I said, it would be probably about 60 to 70% of our first target taken off. And then we would have runners pushing out. So that's what we're looking for. These are just little things I'm trying to get you guys to start making some cash on so you can start making money. All right.
But quickly, ladies and gentlemen, what we're trying to remind you is that Pedro and I are trying to just move from generally bantering about what the price is doing to showing you what to do. And that is one of the reasons why we have our BidFi QR code up right here. So you can do this easily on the BidFi exchange. You can go long and you can go short. You can use $5. You can use $20 million, whatever you want. But I think you'll have a lot of fun. I shouldn't say Pedro and I will think you'll have a lot of fun tracking these trades and basically calling it copy trading. And doing what Pedro says to see if you can make a few bucks. And I'm going to start doing it live on the air. And when Pedro puts the thing in saying, hey, this is the trade we should do, I'm going to go set it up in BidFi. And then we can all laugh when we lose our shirts. Or, as they say, go to Ibiza and do our thing there when we win everything.
Well, I think
Go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we won't lose our shirt because I've proven enough to where I know you're joking, but and this is for people in the future who go back and watch a lot of our videos, right? So I say that because I really feel like we're gonna see another explosion of viewers and stuff like that coming in here real quick, and so I want people when they go back and they look at it and they go, holy crap, dude, like that actually worked. So that's what I'm looking forward to see. Now let's talk about the real quick. And one thing that we're trying to do is make this very simple. So when a 1 minute experience, look, we hit the 20 period moving average here, and then we sold off, and now we're kind of coming down. I do expect us to see it continue down into our lower levels down in here. There's not a lot of demand wicks. As we're moving up. So I expect us to come back down into that 55,750 area. This area here, I think, is a pretty clean number that we're going to come down and play with. But you can see here, current candle right now on the daily and mini of the 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, we don't have a big old wick. So we have buyers sitting down at these lower levels of that 5650-ish or 56 20-ish or 56 200-ish area. So I'm expecting to see some of that as we come into this weekend. So yep, that's in a nutshell.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that come on, let's do it. Come on, this thing's gonna kill me. Delay I have in my software. Anyway, Pedro, we talk about blockchains here, and we talk about cryptos mostly, but every once in a while we talk about blockchains. And Phantom has not been the friend of the world here lately. And they had their main guy, I can't remember his name, and I'm not going to try and research it right now, left the project a while ago. And frankly, Phantom kind of went, just kind of didn't do so well. He came back to the project. They all coaxed him to come back in. And he took a advisory role of it, and then just finally said, "Oh, I need to do what I need to do." And the guy's a wicked, brilliant guy. And they've rebranded Phantom now to what's called Sonic Labs. Their primary blockchain, I think, is called Opera. Or you're on mute there, Pedro.
I think Phantom is another thing to look at. Is that it was also an OG blockchain. I mean, they've been around almost as long as like anybody else out there. They've been around for a long time.
Right. And they've redone their blockchain now. So each block settles in 720 milliseconds, and they're pushing for 500 milliseconds, which is a half second, which isn't just the initial transaction. It's all the validators
Yes.
validating it too. It's finality. It's done. And they claim up to 2,000 transactions per second, and it's going to be up to 4 to 10,000, as they said, as they get going. Fastest out there. I know the guys at Mainnet Z are like, ours is the fastest. But when you have a blockchain this size at a half second, 720 milliseconds right now, and a half second coming up, it's going to change everything, because you'll be able to use actual tokens on a blockchain for payments, like point of sale payments, because it'll boop, and it finalizes, boom, done, and it'll be just as fast as your Visa card transactions. Actually, it'd be faster than it. So
I was gonna say,
that's a big deal coming up, ladies and gentlemen. You should pay attention to the Phantom project, now called Sonic. And I believe they're calling their actual blockchain product Opera, and they're in the middle of upgrading all the nodes right now. From when they get to 2/3 done, it'll be finalized.
Opera is Opera was part of their old blockchain, that term. So in the same sense, it's actually more based off of, because the reason why I say this is when I was learning about blockchain and I was learning about like BTC and how that whole entire system works out, they talk about Phantom and BTC really kind of working hand in hand. One was more the way the internal system of Phantom works different compared to BTC. Phantom was based literally specific off of my hands again.
No, I'm sorry, I'm sticking my hand up the fighter jet's butt.
Like Phantom was literally based off a transaction system. That's what they were actually trying to really do. Whereas Bitcoin was kind of more of a base of a financial store value, right? That could actually hold kind of like gold in a sense, how both were kind of talking. So when you look at it, and obviously that was almost 13 years ago, in 2008. No.
Welcome, Robsome GSW. Welcome from Brazil.
Brazil.
Thank you for joining us. I'll come back and talk to you in a minute. Anyway, Pedro, we got to move on to the next segment here. What's the next crypto that you're going to be talking about here?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and look at our good old friend ETH. Now, ETH is one of those ones that many of us are definitely looking at. We're very much paying attention to it. Why? Because, well, it's moving at a lower rate. And so this is one of those things, whereas BTC came up and touched the 20, ETH couldn't, right? ETH couldn't even get above the 20 or even get close to the 20 period moving average, and couldn't even get out of this candle and control here. So as we're moving down, I do expect us to see come back and tap that 2099 area or 2099 area as we're now starting to continue down. If this starts to move down, I expect to see us come down. And so we're going to be looking to capture part of this short here and really see what happens here. So if we look at like from an macro standpoint, you can see here that this week we really didn't have much volume coming in, and we're bouncing off that 200 period weekly moving average. So I'm expecting us to see it continue down into the end of the week. We went up for the first part of the week, Tom, and then what happens when we do at the end of the week? If it goes up, and it must go down. So you can see here that we're seeing the 8 period starting to come down, and it's going to come and tap a rule on that and see it probably most likely go down into next week. So this is what I'm expecting to see with ETH. And that's about it in a nutshell.
All right. ETH has been just taking a beating in the news. I don't. There's like a campaign out there to discredit ETH, whatever. I mean, it's a juggernaut. It's big. There's lots of money staked in it. It's not going anywhere. They keep improving it, but there seems to be a coordinated campaign against it. It's quite interesting, as they say, to see the it's no different than politics, really, in general. There's the ETH people, there's the anti-ETH people, and I don't know who benefits if ETH struggles. I mean, that I don't understand.
It's really interesting because a lot of you have so many second layers that are built that have been built and run off of ETH. The EVMs. I mean, even Phantom talks about it. How they work with ETH and really is trying to assist their transaction speed and everything. So You're right, man. It's kind of crazy when I look at it that ETH is. I think you hit a good point. Absolutely good point. We could be seeing literally a craziness.
All right. On the next news topic today, one of the things that we're obviously following is what politician supports, what flavor of crypto or anything at all. And
Hmm.
this article talks about Bitcoin hitting a new high price if Trump or Harris wins, says analyst. But the bettors are favoring. Who are the bettors favoring right now? Look at that. Polymarket is favoring Harris by 1 point. And one of the things that our guest yesterday, Christopher Alexander, brought up was that Polymarket has been close, but all of these things are within a margin of error. And two, since the people in the United States can't vote on these,
Bet.
obviously some people must do it by VPN and stuff. I get it, but that's such a small percentage. Is that most of the people outside the
United
U.S.
States.
Don't understand how our electoral system works and that type of stuff, so it's not likely to be accurate. Wait, where is the? But anyway, the point is the pricing. I've seen an article today that it's going higher. It doesn't matter who wins. And then I saw another article. Bitcoin could hit 400,000 before the end of this cycle if Trump wins. And then I saw another one that said Bitcoin could go higher, which I wish I could call it up, but it was one of those news aggregator sites that scrolls off the page. It said Bitcoin will actually go up higher under Kamala because with heavier regulation, Wall Street will put more money into it. And I thought that to be interesting too. But anyway, the politics of this right now are saying the bettors are saying Kamala's going to win, but Bitcoin generally will go higher if Trump wins due to his pro-business outlook and pro-crypto outlook. Found that to be interesting, Pedro. I think you're on mute there, my friend.
Oh, hey, there we go. Um, I feel like because people are betting and they really are trying to really build some money, right, on this stuff, I almost feel like it. I think sooner or later we'll actually have an efficient. We will have a true efficiency to that market. And I think it'll actually be better than many of the polls that we actually have here in America, because honestly, we all know that when it comes to money, if you really want to make something efficient, make it private, right?
Welcome, Space Cat. Thanks for joining us as Space Cat.
And so I just think sooner or later there's going to be a lot of money in that, and when it comes down to it, it's going to actually give a better reading than the actual polls that we take here in America. I don't know, just kind of like how I said, sooner or later, um, Biden's going to have to come over and somehow switch over to crypto, right? Or like in the seller market, or when I look at Bitcoin and I see the money's coming in or the money's leaving, right, and coming out of the market, when I look at it from the undertone of things, and I'm actually going to call this. I actually was thinking about this last night. I was like, how is it that I'm able to really see this? And I realized what it is I'm able to see the undertone or the undercurrent of what's actually happening in the sea of money. And so it's like I'm sitting there going, well, what does the money say? What is the money doing? And again, I think the money behind a lot of this stuff, the polling, there's money behind that. So I think sooner or later, right now it may be a small market, but I think it could very much like explode here real
Well, if you
quick.
can see the money, then I'm going to ask you one question. Show me the money.
Exactly.
Show me the
Exactly.
money. So let's move on to the next the crypto. Which one do you have up for us next?
Yeah, we're gonna be checking out Solana. Let's check out
Solana. Lots
Sol.
going on with Solana. Their Breakpoint conference is
Yes.
coming up.
So excuse me about that. I just had to cough here real quick. So you guys can see here that this market is actually starting to, and from a ping pong effect here. We have that 8 period moving average and we have that 50 period moving average. So we've actually are stuck in between these moving averages on the higher time frame. Um, on the higher time frame as well, on a monthly, we're definitely showing kind of weakness in this aspect where it's starting to kind of want to push down. But that was at the beginning of the month. But now we're in the middle towards the end of the month as we're coming, you can see that we're already starting to pick up a little. So I'm wondering, are we going to ping pong off of this 8 and off of this 50 for the full month, which is very possible. So right now that we've kind of went down first, I'd expect us to come up into that 144 area. And then when it comes into this area, I'm looking for us to short this area. So until then, what we want to see is the market going to come back down, test this area on the daily, okay, which is going to be the 132-ish area, and between that 8 period. So this is where we're looking. So it's that 131, 132 area. As we come back down, we tap this area to continue to go up until we hit that weekly 8. So that's going to be that 144 area as we start to move. So it's really interesting. And you can see as this is coming down, it's going to act as a consolidating agent. So we can almost play off of this here and see what's going to happen as we move forward. And I'm going to draw this baby a little bit right here. And that's going to be a little bit right there. And come on, don't be a douche. There we are. There we go. Alrighty then, we'll see what's up. And I'm going to add a different little color.
All right. Speak, Pedro Damas, speak.
So this is what I'm seeing here. What is it? Speak your speak and rant your rant. There we are.
Robson in Brazil, let us know how you found our live stream. Appreciate
it. Absolutely. We would love to know. And then what? And also let us know down in the comments outside of Brazil. Where would you love to vacation, or what is the place you would love to be, man? I think this is your first time here, I believe. So love to.
I think so.
Love to hear.
I think so.
Yeah, we think so.
You never know. We get a lot of guests now, and so a lot of
Yeah.
times they cycle through. But I love Brazil. Haven't been there in a while. Used to spend some time in Rio de Janeiro, but not in a while. Went to an amazing carnival down there. So what's the give us the 10-second outlook for Solana here in the short term?
Like I said, right now, short term, we're looking to be playing off of these movement here between the 8 period and the 20 period. So be playing a range. We're going to be looking, like I said, we're going to be playing this 132-ish area up to this 140-ish area. So this is where we're looking to really kind of take advantage of this play here.
Play it, and relay it. All right, let's.
Here we go. And like we're actually trying. So I don't know if many of our viewers here, we've been kind of more of a free form, right? Just like a lot of banter, and we do keep them. We're going to do that, but we're actually trying to hold to some structure of our show, and so we're actually with a new structure trying to set this up. And we might have to play a little bit more off of this, right? Like I already can already tell, like we're almost losing that free form of just good times. So we're gonna have to play with this a little.
All right,
bit.
one of the news stories out today in the area of regulation and all that is that in the United States, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC, was ruled by a judge that has no authority to second-guess election contracts for a group called Kalshi. What the CFT said was that Kalshi's they have smart, kind of like a DAO, a smart contract to have elections and these types of things. I had it highlighted here. Anyway, they were going to do the same thing Polymarket was doing and have election bets on elections and stuff like that, and have anyone, including people in the United States, basically bet on them. And the CFTC said, "Hey, that's our land. You can't do that without us saying it's okay, and you can't do that unless it's on a regulated exchange, and no regulated exchange is going to accept bets on the president." And they sued, and they won. And they said that, look, if you remember a thing a while ago called the Chevron defense, said that the agencies of the United States government can only do what they're authorized to do, not come up with new ways to do things unless Congress has given them that authority. And the judges don't need to defer to those agencies. The judges can just say, no, you're not allowed to do that. That's tough crap. And that's what happened to that. So maybe we'll see in Polymarket come to the U.S. or Pedro.
Yeah, I think what's even more interesting is the fact that they're actually really trying to like overreach. I think the idea of them trying to overreach and really trying to like mess with certain things, I think is really interesting, because I think sooner or later, I hope the U.S. government or the U.S. people are going to be like, dude, what the F, bro? Like, why do you keep overstepping? Like, it's almost like, dude, you walk in the club and somebody scuffs your shoes and you're like, bro, what's up?
Bro, better be strapped because we're coming at you.
I sent a letter, man. It's going to be you stepping on my kicks, man. Get back.
Stepping on the kicks, as they say. No, I
Dude,
forgot to
I
pull
mean,
that down.
what are your thoughts on that, man? Because I just think it's a nuts. I mean, dude, I think they're at a point where it's almost too much, right? Or am I tripping about that?
I'll tell you what's too much is that the effort that the CFTC and the SEC are putting on trying to regulate all these new markets by enforcement. All these new markets are coming out. They don't fit into the old way. Instead of all these jerk-offs who are trying to get promoted into new jobs and to look good, because when people in the U.S. government prosecute someone, it's somehow seen as a good thing, whereas the rest of us see it as a bad thing. I don't mean like drug dealers. I mean like legitimate companies. And when everyone just sat down and said, hey, all this stuff's new. Let's figure out a level playing field and let industry figure it out. And then the government will just step in where we see bad kind of stuff going around to level the playing field, like they're supposed to do. This whole generation now of people just accepting that everything needs to be regulated is BS.
Cool.
But that's for a later term. Pedro, what's the next crypto we're going to go over?
Let's go ahead and go over XRP. XRP has exploded today. And I mean, exploded. I expected to see us come down a little bit further into these daily market area. You can see this daily and weekly demand here. And I expect to see us come down into this and push back up. But we actually did a little early. But I want to make sure we understand that we did not really put any demand wick here. And so we're hitting this area and we're not seeing enough push. So let's go into more of the intro time frame. It was, and I don't know if this looks like a news event where something came out. I mean, it looks like two big 5-minute candles is what this was. And so there's not a lot of real support coming in off of this big explosion. If anybody knows why it exploded, but
I saw Zach with a video out earlier.
Oh, really? What did he say? Oh, yeah. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom.
I'm not going to be able to take the time to find it right now.
Oh, well, let me help out here though. So we're seeing the market come down to, we got two options here. One being we're going to come back down and test these lows that it exploded from and get more buyers down at that 53 area, or it's going to catch a trend and we're going to see this thing continue up. And so the next level that we could hit.
What time frame chart you got on there?
So we got a few. So I'm looking at the daily and then we're cycling through. So we have the daily, 4-hour, 2-hour one. And this is going to be kind of quick. So I don't think you'll be able to keep up with us. But I mean, unless you can, that's going to be impressive. So this is going to be 4 hours. So the 4-hour we hit the, oh, we'll just jump back here. We're just going to go to the daily. All right. So we hit the 50 period moving average. We hit our area right here, which is a supply area. I have not put this in here, but the supply area was literally sitting right here that this hit. Now, the most important thing behind all this, actually, it was this one up here, forgive me. Right here, and then we can see it came up and tap root right here. So we came and hit this area. Yeah, tap root. So we came in, we tapped it right here, and then we sold off. So it's a nice little area. My biggest concern is if it doesn't find a trend on that 5 and 15 minute, then we're definitely going to see it come back down and hit the lower areas of today. So let's see what happens there. That's in a nutshell. That's it. To be continued.
Oh man, when I get my stream deck back here, this is all going to move a lot more smoothly. But anyway, what's our what is our,
this is the new one? Crypto Punks NFTs. Your favorite or your best friend Anton's favorite products out there.
Well, I as I famously talk about on this show, that punks and NFTs are just useless gambling. And so are meme coins. I get it. But at least meme coins bring lots of volume. And they have a benefit to the chain that they're on. NFTs don't bring volume. Even their volume is still really low compared to like any single meme coin out there. The whole NFT market transactions are tiny. It doesn't bring the gas to the blockchain. It doesn't bring the FOMO effect. But it still brings the people that want to have a lot of money taken from them. And I like to point out when things are... What I didn't anticipate was CryptoPunks were still very popular and they've regained a lot of their value. But one of the things that happened recently, and we talk about tokenization, the CryptoPunk 2386, which is valued ultimately at about 600 ETH, $1.5 million, sold the other day for $23,000. And you're like, wow, how did that happen? Was there a hack? No, but apparently there was an old website called Niftex, in which they fractionalized the ownership of NFTs. Yep. And so if you had one, you could sell it, parts of it. Well, Niftex had Punk 2386 in it, and then Niftex went out of business. And everything was essentially stranded on their, locked up in their smart contracts. But someone figured out how to hack that out of it and get the emergency release function, and only had to put up $23,000 to get it out of that. And it worked. And now he's sitting on a $1.5 million windfall for that. But the original owner of it is out. It wasn't the owner going back in and figuring out how to get his lock thing out. The original owner gave his thing to Nitflex, or NiftyX, or whatever it is, NFTX. And then it was basically lost forever, but someone figured out how to pry it out of the smart contract. And I thought that to be genius. Pedro, in your circle of influencers and stuff like that, those highfalutin roles that you hang out in, do you talk about NFTs at all, or just when things go bad like this?
First of all, highfalutin. What would you?
Highfalutin.
Highfalutin. What is this word?
That's a term that the lower class used to talk down about the higher class, saying, oh, you're hanging out with those highfalutin people again, meaning the higher class.
Highfalutin people. Oh, I like that word. You guys just heard it here from Mr. Tom. Tom breaks out the $5 words, man, every day, dude. And I don't think we give him enough credit. This man right here. Oh, the other side. This man right here, he kicks off some really, really good, really, really good words. Thank you for that, Tom.
Anyway, welcome Carmen Crypto to the show. Thanks for joining us, Carmen.
What's
trying to get you to come on today as a guest, but no, you don't check your TG that often.
No, she doesn't. She just doesn't care. They hurt our feelings, buddy.
Hey, Seuss, word of the day. Why isn't this coming up here? Why isn't that working? Oh, I had that up. Hey, Seuss, I actually have a calendar here, and I have one every year. Word of the day. So I learned a new vocabulary word every day. But they're hard. You have to not just read it and you don't remember it ever. You got to use it. To this day, I use the word plethora because I learned that when I was like 10 years old.
A plethora of times.
Right. Anyway, the NFT market still sucks.
Oh yeah. Dude,
but let's not confuse NFTs that are just profile pictures versus usage NFTs. Like our sponsor Audit Chain has NFTs that are used for ownership rights of their accounting rules. As Jesus pointed out, with Infineon, you can earn passive income with Infineon NFTs. I don't know what else I don't know what the NFTs do other than maybe they just sold the NFTs to raise money, and then as a result, you get passive income for a while. That's probably going to be an SEC violation, but
sooner or later, they're going to want to come in and take some of that money.
Right. But anyway, the internal clock is flashing red. Why don't we move on to the next?
Yeah, there we go. So let's jump right in. And I think this is really something that I think as we look into this market, ADA, good old friend ADA. We've seen a lot of kind of stuff going on with the CEO, and I think it's It's important. Like Cardano is like just an OG blockchain, and I don't think it's a graveyard blockchain, or what do they call it? A
Zombie.
cryptic zombie pot. I think there's a lot of stuff going on here. They're building a lot of stuff, and so I think and on top of that, you have so many. I mean, people are religious about it. So from an actual project, I think we will see it arise again, right? Like I'm expecting it, but I think we're gonna have to come down to that. I'm still bullish on us down at that 29-28 cent mark area. Right now, we're sitting at 35 cent, and so I think we're having a pullback. But this is important to pay attention to. If that 8 and 20 cross on the daily market here, it's really what's going on here. Why is this doing this? Data issue, delayed streaming. This issue is on the exchange side. Okay. So this idea behind here is if that 8 and 20 cross, and all of a sudden I start to see it really push. So you can see here it crossed on up in this level, right? But then we saw the sell off, right? I want to see some real big movements here. Right now we're hitting that 8 period on the weekly, and it's got to get above here. It's got to get above here, and it's got to come with volume. You can see we're having a smaller volume of a week here. So I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think we're going to push up, but it all depends if we can push through this volume and we get that crossover of the 8 and 20, and we start to see this push higher. That is going to be that level is going to be stopped potentially at that 100 period moving average. And we can see here that it's held for a while now. It came in, price tried to get above it, right up in this level back in July. It sold off. And then again, we saw it come up, try to test it again in August. Again, it sold off. But the most important part is we saw a lower high, right? So, excuse me, a higher low, not a lower high. We saw a higher low, and so potentially we could push through this 8 or this 100-day period moving average. If we do not, and we see something similar to this or something similar to this, I'd expect us the next lay is going to be, I think we're going to push through that 29 and get down to that 23 cent area. But I know the person who we're watching control this and really take the helm of this has a tenacious and I never say die attitude on his blockchain. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens as we move forward.
Well, they're certainly ramping up the
Ramping.
the marketing. They're hiring HKIO. That's his company's name. Is all over LinkedIn hiring. Their people are out there broadcasting. I shouldn't say broadcasting. I should say having podcasts, writing articles. The marketing machine's spinning up. So something good is about to launch here, and the question is, when it does come, who's going to use it? Who is going to use the blockchain and why? And we don't know that yet because we have to find out. Anyway, Pedro, the last news article I have today on our short form show, only an hour long. Meme coin prices rebound as Pepe Unchained raises $12.5 million in a pre-sale. Literally another Pepe, and here I've famously kind of not pushed but gave free airtime to Pepe Z on mainnet Z and on base, and they struggle for every dollar, and it's a great one. It's undervalued. It's at its small little point right now, and then this group comes out and just says, all right, we're going to have this thing called Pepe Unchained, and there's no utility except it's a new Pepe thing. And 12.5 million people FOMO into the presale. That would be one epic rug pull if it happened.
Dude.
But like we talked
right?
But we talked about yesterday. Popcat, Dogs, Dog with Hat, Dogecoin, Brett. Everything is showing strength right now. All of these things were in the tank for a while. I shouldn't say in the tank. I should just say in the volume doldrums. And all of a sudden, they start going up, and then we get people dropping $12.5 million into another Pepe token.
Crazy,
when there are lots out there that I have, like Pepsi has a great staking platform, with high APYs. It's not sustainable forever, but you should get it while you can. These people, they just dump money into this.
to
Be
like
very
grow it,
interesting. I
just
can't. I'm gonna
throwing it.
watch this one and see and see what happens on that. Anyway, as Jesus says, to dust or to moon. Tame the arc. Tame the arc. Um, let's
What's
see.
up?
Let's get this back up here in the comments here. Tame the arc. Where'd you come to us from? Have you been
I
here
know,
before?
right?
Or are you a regular viewer that's changed your name? Why do I keep
Dude.
screwing that up? Anyway, Tame the
Nah,
arc. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
yeah, where'd
Like
you
I
come
said,
from?
where did you
Oh,
find
it's
us
the
from?
Bitcoin. Yeah, tell us where'd you come from, bro? I mean, is it from somebody that you know who watches this shortly, and they posted? I met you guys in Canada, same username.
At
Tame
the
the.
Blockchain Futurist Conference.
Ooh, I'm trying to see.
Anyway, Pedro, why don't you call up Dogecoin here?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll pull it up right here, right now. Well, let's actually talk about meme Pepe here real quick,
Okay.
just in general. So we're actually waiting for this trade to actually plan out. So I'm waiting for it to come and test this area here on that 50 period moving average, and you can see I'm actually about to move down our stop loss here. We'll see if it continues higher, and we might change out the original trading issue here. Um,
What was
and I'm
our trade? You wanted it to get up to? Did it hit? Go read. Tell us the trade again that you put on.
Oh yeah, so it did not hit. So we were waiting for the trade to hit on Pepe, and we wanted to go short up in this level. We were starting to see some volume come in, and so I was expecting it to come up into this um, 852 area to the 870 area, and then I wanted to go short at the 50 period moving average as we're coming down in, or as we're coming up into Pepe, and I talked about us actually going long potentially us coming up into this area, but it all depends on if we could hold the price at the 50 period or the 8 period moving average here. And so right now we're kind of consolidating off of that 20 and that 8 until we can really kind of break forward and hit these higher time frame SMAs. So it all depends. Yeah, well, not necessarily buy zone. We're going to be shorting, but we could go long here up at that 874 and 855-ish area here, based off the 50 period moving average in conjunction with this supply area that we're sitting here at. And so this is one of those things that as the 8 weekly moving average is coming down into that daily 50, this is going to act as a really good zone for us to make some cash, and we could capture it back down to the 640 area, and and then from there I'll find out what's going to happen. And so that was Pepe.
Right,
um
and Jesus, remember, he's talking about a sell zone, not a buy zone. And how do you sell it if you don't own it? You
short
use
it.
our link right here to open an account with DFI. You
Absolutely.
don't have to use leverage. You can just sell something you don't own, and make money that way. But I encourage you to do that. We've had very few signups for it, and Pedro and I are trying to teach you guys how to make money when the market's going up and when the
Yep.
market's going down. And you need to use Essential Exchange mostly for that. There's some DeFi solutions to that, but and there's no KYC with these guys, and
Yeah.
they're good. Good crew. Good crew. Anyway, Dogecoin. What's up with Doge?
Tim the Arc. I'm so curious. I don't understand. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to blow up your picture there, and I can't see it. For whatever
Tim the Arc
reason.
says, fun fact, Doge founder sold most of his total bag for less than 20K. Would have been worth
Yep.
billions if he didn't dump early. You're right. I remember
Yeah.
reading that article. And the guy's like this. He's like, well, it is what it is. I would be like every day.
Yeah. The original, but I don't think if what made it so strong was that Elon Musk knew it was a free play. I think if the original owner was still there running it, I don't think that Elon Musk would have been like Doge to the moon.
Right.
I don't think that would have happened. What made it so was just it was before takeovers were a big deal, right? It was like the original community takeover. And that crew was still just pushing it, right? So it's interesting. And also on top of that,
John
you
Adams.
called me the other night. I said he looked like John Adams. Oh, got it. Okay, I know who it is.
Yeah, when he has the
Yeah.
hair down, once it gets a little more gray, it'll look like John Adams. Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's
Yeah.
got a son out there named Quincy.
Quincy Adams. I
John Quincy
might.
Adams.
I don't know. Quincy
All right, let's
Adams.
hit Doge for Tame the Arc before we sign off for the day on our short show.
Yeah, my stuff. Here we go. Oh, there it goes. Hey, little Poochie want to say what's up. He's like, "What up, gangsta? I'm here." Shout out to the puppy who is always strong. All right, so right now I'm expecting us to see some form. Trying to find support on the 8-period moving average, as you guys can see. I have a weekly zone sitting right here above us where the 50-period moving average is sitting. You can see how we came down with the 8-period moving average acting as resistance. Now that we came back up, right, at this resistance level, it's actually starting to sell off. So it depends. I think what's going to happen is we're going to come up, it's going to push up. And then from there, we're going to see a sell off at 11 back down to the 9-cent area. So be ready for that. If this 8 holds true and keeps it pushing down on Doge, then I would expect Doge to continue down all the way to at least the 8-cent mark area and potentially that 7.7 area. So that's really what I'm looking for. But it all depends if we can get that 8 period to cross over that 20 period. So it all kind of depends on what's going to happen. Does that make sense, Mr. Trade the Arc area? That's awesome.
Well, thank you, Pedro, for that, and thanks for Tame the Arc for bringing up for Doge. We didn't have it on our list today, but always willing to help out a viewer. Getting ready for the explosions again. Construction site across the street, blowing up the bedrock here, and it's going to shake the building in a minute. But anyway, Jesus, thanks for watching. He has to go to the dealer auction today. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time, as always.
We got 7 people watching, which is actually really impressive for Thursdays. Normally by the end, it's me and you just sitting there talking to ourselves. But it's actually kind of cool to see 7 people watching. And because there's 7 people watching and we only have 6 likes, people, that one person hit that like.
Yeah, someone needs to hit that like. Or we're going to boot them out of here.
Boot them out. Drop the ball and kick it like we're on the grade school playground again, if anybody remember that.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we did Thursdays, like I said earlier, are normally lower viewership for us. Busy weeks all the time. People tune out on Thursdays. It's actually not just a Tom and Pedro thing. It's a YouTube thing.
Really?
And so we try to do a little different show today. We hit some news articles, hit some talks about various cryptos and that type of stuff, and gonna try and keep the show wrapping up here nice and early. So we tried something different. We're probably going to try it again in the future. But I want to thank everyone for coming. Oh, look at that. Here's Crypto Mike. Sorry I'm late.
What's up,
Crypto Mike has got a new Kyle Busch tattoo on his arm that he's nursing right now. Got the number 8 tattooed on his arm because that's Kyle's NASCAR number. But Kyle will probably switch teams in a few years, and hopefully the tattoo won't have to get changed too much. Carmen Crypto says, "Hey, Mike." Anyway, we're done for the day today, everyone.
Oh, wait. What is up with this? Did we just get a $10 good show and info? Nice. Thank you, Tame the Arc.
Tame the Arc, thank you very much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. As I always say when this happens, Pedro and I use the proceeds from super chats to better the show and bring it to more people. We'd like to say we're just going to use and go buy some Dom Perignon champagne and pour one for the homies. But, Mrs. Striking hopes that I have that financial problem one day of not knowing what to do with all our money instead of scraping by with this. But Tame the Arc, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to your continued viewership. And obviously we'll be going over projects that you're interested in. That's how we work. If you pander to us, we'll pander right back to you.
We shall.
Yeah, right. Crypto
We
Mike
will.
says that's only worth a thimble of Dom, right? It's the stuff you catch at the F1 race when they're spraying it everywhere, just like you catch a little.
You're like.
Jesus says you're a G, Tom. Pour one for the homies. One for me, one for Pedro, one for the homies no longer with us. And those that are no longer with us are rug pulls, hacks, projects that ran off with your money.
Good old crypto. Wait, Sky, any people analysts?
Sky, who we got here? Sky, thanks for joining us.
We got
Sky.
a new Sky.
Any
Sky,
people
thanks
analysis.
for coming.
I don't even know what that means, but Carmen
peoples.
mentions Kevlar.
Oh no, he's talking about
Oh, the project people.
Yeah. Boom. Quick little analysis, real quick. Boom. Yeah. So I expected to see it push up right during if Trump did really, really well for the debate. But we can see here, right, with that 50-period moving average. And in addition to that, because of his performance at the debate, you can see we had the sell-off here. So you can see here now it's coming down. For me personally, I think if Trump, and I think we should be paying attention, you should be paying attention to the betting sites of crypto, right? And if the system, if we start seeing them pull ahead, I'd expect to see our Constitution DAO to push up and hit our supply area here. So it all depends what we're going to see. But that's in a nutshell. And we'll actually go over that Monday, all the political memes. So again, Sky, thank you for coming in. Thanks for asking. I think that's what you were talking about. And yeah, I think that's about it. Come again Monday and we'll go over the same stuff as usual. All right, Tommy, back to you, my friend.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we've had a good show here today. Tried a little different format, hitting it up at just under an hour. The first time we've had an under-hour show in a long time. A long time. Crypto Mike Kevlar was a project Carmen was involved in, and it rug pulled one night. Whoops. Let a developer have the keys that was undoxed, and he ran off with the money. But anyway, to everyone else, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate it. To Tame the Ark, the super chat was thank you very much. Yeah. That helps spread the word about our show and shows the algorithm that we really mean business. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Crypto Mike, we're ranting tomorrow. That's right. We'll be crypto ranting. Actually, Pedro, I think we're going to be off Monday because Mrs. Striking and I have a business appointment that will likely take up most of the day. I'll try and figure that over the weekend. But so our next show will probably be Technical Tuesday next week, in which we'll do all sorts of technical projects or projects, talk charts, and we'll work the memes into them. But on behalf of Pedro, Garcia, and I, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking. We're so glad to have hosted another episode of DYOR Live here today. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. We'll see you tomorrow on Bull Rant Friday. Did it again. I wanted to hit this button. That one.